Hey everybody, it's Billy Boudreaux, aka Wrestle Gamer, back with another installment of WGS-TV right here on the WGS YouTube channel. First off, on this video, I'm just say I hope everybody's enjoying the Double B Plays series with Infamous 2. I believe we're quite near the end. Just so everybody know that I am playing it blind. I have not played this game ahead of time, so just want to let everybody know that. So now, I got some thoughts I'd like to voice about last night's Monday Night Raw. Starting with John Laurinaitis and that screwed up opening he did on Monday Night Raw in Mexico. You know, I guess to draw more heat, he tried to speak in Spanish and stuff like that. And ever since he became interim general manager, he's actually shown some attitude and some actual emotions, in his promos, even though he is screwing it up royally. Now, with WWE recording Monday Night Raw in Mexico that night, I believe, personally, I think it was a mistake to post up things early on their YouTube. Like, for instance, the return of Jim Ross and what happened after the show. I don't think that was a good idea to do that. That's the kind of things that these so-called spoilers do here on YouTube, is post up videos like that. I really don't think that was a good idea. Yeah, it kind of gave us a little insight into what Monday Night Raw is, but me being a traditional wrestling fan the way I am, I don't want to know ahead of time what's going to happen. So I don't think it was WWE should have done that. Now, when Jim Ross was brought back, Jim Laurinaitis asked him to ring, and then he hugged him. A hug from Jim Laurinaitis. I don't know about that. If you can see, I'm rubbing my eye because thinking about it is making my head hurt. Jim Laurinaitis hugs Jim Ross, as, saying that he was sorry for what he's done. Laurinaitis claiming that a lot of wrestling fans out there sent him, threats via Twitter that he was making a mistake about firing Jim Ross. Now, ultimately, I do think it might have been a mistake to let him go, because you did have a good team with Jim Ross, Jerry the King Lawler, and Michael Cole. But now, instead of bringing him back to commentate, what did they do? Laurinaitis puts Jim Ross in a match and Michael Cole in a match. Now, I have all the respect in the world for Jim Ross. I have some sort of respect for Michael Cole and everything he's done. But they're commentators. They're not wrestlers. They shouldn't have done that. The last thing we needed to see is Michael Cole in his gay orange leotard again. I thought we were done with that at Extreme Rules. What happens? We get it again. Now, I can't get the visual out of my head. I just can't get the visual of Michael Cole jumping around like he's Brock Lesnar in his gay little orange leotard out there. I mean, Michael Cole's job, Jim Ross's job, is to be at the announce table. Kind of like my job is at GCW, is to be at the announce table, not to be the center of attention inside the squared circle. No, you're supposed to be on the job calling action. Now, I will admit Josh Matthews did a really good job with Jerry the King Lawler calling that match. Plenty of respect for the guy. But Jim Ross in a tag match against Michael Cole, I mean, come on. And then the main focus of that match was to put a new stipulation for Del Rio and Cena at Vengeance. And apparently, with Jim Ross making Michael Cole tap out with the ankle lock, last man standing. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad match, but it's got the makings for Cena to gain the title back at Vengeance. That's what my feelings are about that. You know, and they're just making Del Rio just look like a paper champion. In my opinion, they're going to let him hold it for 3 weeks, and then they're going to have him win it at one pay-per-view, and then the very next pay-per-view they're going to have him drop it. Now, would it be a bad idea to have him drop it to Cena? I don't know. With Cena being WWE's poster boy, it's... I don't know. I really don't know. So... But, another thing I'd like to talk about is a couple of things. Is apparently this new feud... Well, it was brought up to me... I'm going to scratch that, because the first I was going to talk about the new feud with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, but I'm going to go ahead and squash that. Because it really does have the good idea, you know, for a good feud to start off with here. Thought I had some notes here on my iPhone, but I don't. The six-man tag was decent, you know, but it started off Randy Orton chasing off Cody Rhodes, then Sheamus chased off Christian, and then when it was left with John Morrison and Mark Henry, with the way John Morrison's been going as of late, it was only a matter of time before John Morrison got down. But they did. Now, one thing that was brought to my attention, you know, people keep asking me, you know, why is the brand split dissolved? I mean, we got SmackDown stars on Raw. Now, the thing I told this guy last night on Skype was, I believe because of the ratings issue with Friday Night SmackDown, what good way to bring ratings back onto the show is by having the SmackDown stars appear on your flagship show, which is Monday Night Raw. So I really don't have any issues with that one. I mean, we're seeing good stars. You know, Cody Rhodes, Mark Henry, and then we have Air Boom. We got Miz, R-Truth. I think R-Truth technically is Friday Night SmackDown. I am not sure about that, but now if another thing a person keep asking me, because I keep having these random thoughts in my head about Monday Night Raw, is the direction of Eve's character. Now, it's not very often I get asked a question about a Divas character in the direction they're going in Monday Night Raw, because quite frankly, the Divas division just absolutely sucks in the WWE. Literally, probably a few of them suck to get where they are, if you know what I mean. I'm not going to go any further than that statement right there. So, but Eve's character, a lot of people keep coming to me, you know, saying, you know, when is Eve going to turn heel? When is Kelly going to turn heel? I say, you know, those two are going to turn heel just as soon as John Cena turns heel. That's what I have to say about that statement, guys and gals. So, now, if I were to pick a match of the night for Monday Night Raw, oh, Lord, it's hard. It's hard to, you know what, I might go with CM Punk and R-Truth. You know, even though the end it was, you know, ended up with a beatdown, Miz and R-Truth beating up CM Punk. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. It was Miz and CM Punk. I should have made this video last night, but I decided not to. Anyway, it was Miz and CM Punk, and good match for that. However, it was really crappy. The way they, well, in my personal opinion, I thought they didn't really do a good job portraying the fact that Triple H had immigration issues, and you had 5 people from Mexico come in and say that Triple H had immigration issues and stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, you know, R-Truth was what I thought was really funny is R-Truth was taunting him. You know, the DX style. You know, you got to get out, that way. And I think that was also a grand invitation for R-Truth. You know, R-Truth's face was saying to Triple H's fist, "Hey, I'm open. Hit me." That's what happened. So I thought it was a good build. It's a good build towards their tag match they're going to be having at Vengeance. And again, I said it before, and I'll say it again. I hate it when I call things like that, and I just don't mean to do it, but it ends up happening anyway. And like I said to people on WGS Radio and on Blog TV, I apologize for that. I didn't read any spoilers or anything like that. It was just based on assumption, and it ended up happening. Yeah, like that. So my match of the night for Monday Night Raw has got to go to CM Punk and The Miz, with the main event match a close second, because even though, like I've said, Jim Ross and Michael Cole, their job is not to be in the ring, but to call the action that goes on inside the ring. Any chance I get to see Michael Cole publicly humiliated and physically assaulted in any kind of public forum, it's an okay job by me. Yep. So, what I want to know right now is what are your thoughts about Monday Night Raw? Leave your comments in the comment section below. With that being said, I'm Double B Billy Bujo saying thank you very much for watching.